Our fourth school today is Quincy. The Hawks wrapped up the 2023 campaign with a 6-5 showing and 3-4 overall in the league for a fifth-place tie. In the GLVC preseason poll release, the coaches have picked Quincy to finish sixth. Head coach Jason Killday is here with graduate quarterback Drake Davis and senior defensive back Trajen Thornton. Guys, thank you for joining us here today. Coach, this is your first football kickoff. You're no stranger to the GLVC or even Quincy. Talk about your prior experience with Truman and Quincy and how maybe you're using that to prepare for your first season as the head coach of the Hawks.
Well, the learning curve for me at Truman, from coming from Quincy, and you think you know a thing or two, right? And then you work for Coach Nesbitt, and you learn a lot quickly. And one, he's a great teacher, he's a great mentor. He really challenges you to grow as a position coach or a coordinator. And he wants everybody to take the next step in their career. So he's always putting things on your plate there. So learned a lot from him. I know I'm a much better coach now than what I was when I left Quincy the first time. So it was a great experience.
Coach, thank you. 5 offensive starters returned of the 12 in total, including Drake, who's sitting next to you. Give us your thoughts on his return after a all GLVC honor, but only 9 games played last year due to injury, as well as the rest of the offensive unit.
One of the main reasons the interest in the job when the opportunity came up was because of Drake and his resume he put on film and what he did last year and how he plays the position. If you're going to win games, you're going to need good play from that position, and Drake has played at a high level in our league, so he gives you an opportunity week in, week out to be successful.
Drake, as noted, you were an honorable mention honoree last year, despite only playing 9 games. You passed for 1,629 yards, 16 touchdowns, and you had over 200 yards rushing with 5 TDs. Tell us how you're feeling now and what you've been working on to build upon last season.
Feeling good. Building upon from last year, just the chemistry with the guys. Like you mentioned, we only returned 5, so building a new chemistry with those guys as well. But I feel good going into the season, with Coach and everyone coming in. We've really grasped what he's trying to teach and everything. We're going to move on.
Coach, 5 starters also return on defense, including 4 all GLVC honorees, which includes Trajen, who sits next to you. Considering that big group of decorated players, what are you expecting from that side of the football this year?
The nice thing, Coach Bonone and Coach Lawrence, the two, one our defensive coordinator and our D-line coach, I kept them on staff because, again, I had a better feel for what Quincy had done defensively last year, being an offensive coordinator in the league. So I was impressed with how they played, their scheme, and how they put it all together. So I wanted to keep as many pieces in place to continue to grow on that side of the football.
Trajen, you have an impressive run of 33 straight starts under your belt over the last 3 seasons. While you record 13 tackles and 1 sack last season, what are your expectations for you in the defense this year?
We were pretty good last year. I think that we were on top of the league every category or close to it. So this year we're really going to take it to the next step because our first year running this defense and the scheme with Coach Bonone did, we were pretty good, not very consistent. Last year I think we really upped the ante a little bit. We're a little bit more consistent. So this year it's up it a lot more, and then be that fierce defense that everyone fears.
Thank you, Coach. We know you have a pair of all GLVC's picks coming back to your special teams unit with punter Anthony Gilpin and long snapper Joey Lyon. Can you speak to the importance of how that'll be? It'll be a big thing for you coming back this year and a glimpse into what the rest of the special teams brings.
Well, it's the biggest plays in the game. I mean, you're going to change the most field position with anything kicking game-wise. So it's a big emphasis for us. It was a big emphasis in the spring, and we've added some needed depth there at the skilled positions to help us be able to flip the field. And it's going to win or lose you football games. So it's a big emphasis.
And finally, Coach, looking at your schedule, you'll start with a big road game at D1 Drake on August 31st before jumping into conference play on September 7th with a home game against new conference member Lincoln. Touch on the early games and then talk a little bit more about the schedule as a whole for your group.
Well, it's a challenge right out of the gate with Drake. We had a team wanted, to get out of the game we had, so Drake was open, and it's a pretty close game, in terms of driving distance for us. So wanted to challenge us early and see where we were, and then with Lincoln being a GLVC opponent now, so the first 2 weeks are important. You have to win your games early if you want to play meaningful games late in the season. So, with Drake and then Lincoln, and then kind of get our feet underneath us with the bye week right after that, kind of see where we are. Hopefully we're 2-0 and we're ready to roll into the stretch and the meat of the schedule. I like the way it lays out for us, but how that is doesn't really matter to me. I mean, it's 1 week at a time, and focusing on being 1-0 every week, and take it as it comes.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here today. Best of luck this upcoming season.